So the return of Kai Havertz appears to be that secret weapon that unlocks Arsenal's midfield and attack. Welcome to the video. Now in this video, we're going to quickly look at what's changed with the Arsenal midfield and attack, especially Viktor Gyökeres and how he's starting to pick form. What has actually happened with Gyökeres is that we've known that there was something wrong with that connection between Gyökeres and Bukayo Saka, and more importantly also Martin Odegaard. There's been something missing between, him getting supply and the numbers he's been getting. And we knew he's a good striker. Nobody was in doubt that Viktor Gyökeres was a good striker. There's no question about it. The problem was, why is he not getting the supplies? Now, something changed in the last few weeks. Saka got injured, and then of course Odegaard was also injured. Suddenly we had to, with the return of Kai Havertz, Mikel Arteta, in his usual fashion, decided to experiment. He got Kai Havertz to play in that attacking role, 10, which is very rare. Normally, he's supposed to be that 8. But then he tried to experiment that against Chelsea in the first leg. We saw the results. Repeated that, in a few games against Leeds. We saw the results. And then, of course, in the last game against Sunderland, we saw how suddenly Gyökeres looks like a different person. Running through the balls, they find him all the time. And then, of course, Madueke, who happens to be stepping in for Saka, has also been doing a fantastic job of finding Gyökeres. And then he begs the question, what's been going on with Saka and Odegaard? And for Arsenal, going into this last run of games, that leads into the final lap of the Premier League season, and of course the Champions League, with everything else that matter, the League Cup final and the FA Cup, we need a formation that works. Up till now, it started to look as if Arsenal didn't even have a first 11. We're not sure. Of course, we knew that Leandro Trossard was our most consistent left winger. With the return of Gabriel Jesus, even Gyökeres, we were not even sure if he was the best person to start. On the right, Saka is pretty much the undisputed starter. But then it wasn't clear what was going on with Odegaard's form and how, Arsenal was supposed to unlock all of this. But it is very crucial at this stage that a player like Kai Havertz, who has very good defensive qualities. So if you have Zubimendi, you have Rice, nobody questions their position in the team. Now you have Kai Havertz. He's very good defensively, and he has a lot of stamina in him, so he can cover, both when the team is with the ball or without the ball. Now, his ability to run in through and find Gyökeres is very important for Arsenal this season, because what that means is that Gyökeres will continue to score goals. When we lose the ball, he can retract. The only disadvantage with his current situation is that I hear he has a bit of injury worries, so we have to manage his minutes. He can't play the full meal deal sometimes, and that could be, give an opportunity to the likes of Eze to come in and do a job. Now, Eze is okay. Eze is good with creativity. He can shoot from outside the box. Eze can find the passes. The only problem with Eze is that Eze doesn't have very good defensive qualities, and that is where he falls short. But I think with Kai Havertz coming in right now, I think Arsenal have solved a very big problem of having that balance, in midfield, and Gyökeres will be one of the biggest beneficiaries. I hope that by the time Saka comes back, he's able to, understand that this is not about him. This season, he has not even been in form. This is not about scoring penalties, or he has very good finished product. At the end of the day, he finds the net most of the time. He's still better than Madueke, but for sure, nobody's arguing that. But he needs to be a bit less selfish with how he manages the ball and how he tries to make sure he's finding the striker. Very, very important if Arsenal must continue to play Saka. Now, I don't know what will happen to Mr. Martin Odegaard when the only advantage with Martin Odegaard is that he's that player that can play, to give somebody like Declan Rice a rest. And also, maybe in games that are not too serious, we can still play him in the 10. But at this point, I think Kai Havertz is Arsenal's undisputed number 10 because he gets the result. And as long as he continues to play, Viktor Gyökeres will have a very good scoring form. So let me know your thoughts in the comments about all of this. Do you think that there's a way back for Martin Odegaard in the team? Is it even time to start to consider letting him go in the summer? Or how many times do you think we're going to have to risk seeing him play, pass the ball around, and Arsenal end up with no productivity at the end? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to leave that as a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you